I am sad to report that one of the greatest GMs in the history of sports, he gave my Lakers Luka Doncic, baby, got fired. And I'm really sad that Nico Harrison got fired because I was really looking forward to him giving us back Anthony Davis back for a bag of chips now that he's fat. Like, come on back, Anthony. I'd love to have you. And so, anyway, Nico's fired. Me and Russell, we got to bring it up. We went to Luka's game where he returned to Dallas as a Los Angeles Laker, his first game back in Dallas, and what an experience! I'll have footage up for that right now,
Yeah.
so you can see what the experience was like. But I'm telling you, I've never even seen on TV an event like that because everybody in the building was chanting "Fire Nico." That's not really the most unique part of it, though, because yeah, general managers, executives, they've been hated before. People
Yep.
have been chanting for their job before. But to have the road team and the basically like the fans for both the road team and the home team all rooting for the same guy and everybody's
Yep.
cheering when the same guy's scoring, that was weird. It was like a Luka Doncic concert. And so Dallas was all unified in the fact that Nico should be fired. And I think even Laker fans are thinking, yeah, Nico should be fired. So, fellas, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? I imagine we all are probably going to agree on it. But, guys, who wants to start first? What are your thoughts on this?
I want to hear Mr. Conspiracy Theory talk about this. Go ahead, Dave.
That's
I want to
exactly
hear.
where I'm going with this.
Yep.
I honestly, genuinely feel bad for him
For
because
Nico.
to be used as the face of the dumbest trade ever, and it's
You think he's the fall guy? Fall guy.
He's definitely the fall guy. They literally just they must have paid collusion. I don't even know, collusion, conspiracy, whatever the hell. They had to pay him a decent amount of money to agree to this because he had to have known I'm gonna trade away an all-time generational player, possibly, and then we're gonna be completely and then not to mention he mentions defense wins championships, all this stuff. I think they're actually decent on defense this year, but then they're I don't even know 1-9 or something like that.
It's not that bad, but it's bad. I'll put it up on the screen. But yes, it's bad.
And then to just be the fall guy on it is just it's just sad because from now on everybody's just gonna look at him as the dumbest dude ever.
But don't you think if he is the fall guy, he agreed to that?
No, absolutely not.
You think it was more like a hostage situation, like you will be the fall guy?
Yeah,
Who would want to be that?
Now we're getting spicy.
Yeah.
The moment, if this is real, right? If this conspiracy, let's
allegedly, we got to protect our asses here. Allegedly,
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Let's sit in this hypothetical universe where this is real, right? There's no way. So you get sat down and you go, listen, we're going to trade the best player you have on your team as a general manager. And you're going to have to go out there and tell everybody, this is our team and we're the captains now. I just don't. Because it was how he handled it. It wasn't the fact. It was the trade. Plus, he went out there the next day with Jason Kidd, who sulked like a second grader next to his principal.
Up and everything. Yeah.
Well, he did it in the middle of the night, and that should have been the bidding war sweepstakes of the decade.
Yeah.
If they open it up to the whole league, but they didn't do that, and so that's another reason where it's just fishy as heck. They just went to the NBA Finals. He's in his mid-20s.
Close ties with Rob Pelinka in his past.
I think the fact that Luka was fat, they trade him away. Luka gets on the cover of Men's Health magazine, and now AD is fat. Is one of the craziest turn of events I've ever seen. It's just you blame Texas. It's just that Texas food.
It's just the
most brisket sandwiches.
It's the end of Anthony Davis as a superstar as we know it, and it's sad because this is a guy who literally had the ability to be the best player in the league. The best.
Sure. At his size and his talent, absolutely.
Yeah. And he never got there. He never got there. And the biggest reason is because he just never took care of his body. Because it's fool me once, shame on you. You get injured, you work through it, you come back. But this guy, I don't think he's played 70 games at any point in his career.
I think
he did one time. He did one time fairly recently, and we made a huge deal about it.
Yeah. Other than that, we're talking
You have to go back to New Orleans days. I think he did
75
twice.
games twice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
But that's
Yep.
it. And then
Trust me, I've
76
looked a few
in 24.
times because he was pissing me off as a Lakers fan.
This guy, he just
Yeah,
never,
that's not
never,
fair, though.
ever stayed healthy.
That's not fair though.
Ever.
In 2020, he played. He
That's
barely
fair.
missed games. It was just
That's
a
fair.
shortened season.
Shortened
so that's
season.
why I look like
That's
that.
fair.
Yeah, but one could argue the reason why he made it through that season is because there was a giant gap in the middle of it, so he had a chance to heal.
I think that's more of the argument
Like-
for LeBron than him, though. Like, I think
I don't.
LeBron-
That's.
When you're built like a graham cracker, like AD, I think it applies to you too.
Thank you. Yeah, 100%. And even in the bubble, he was like aching about random stuff, and every time he fell down, the entire
Bro,
world.
I'm telling you, my Laker fans, yeah, exactly. My Laker fans can speak up for me. Even when he wasn't getting hurt, it is like once every 3 games, the dude's having a scare. Like, the amount of fake injuries far exceed the amount of actual injuries he had. This guy was just an accident waiting to happen. And yeah, I mean, he was a better defensive player than Luka, but so you both think there is a 0% chance Nico is just like the biggest idiot ever. Like, it's
I
just,
want him to be the biggest idiot ever. I want that to be like, if reality could just be what it is, like, sick. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. I'm cool with the reality of him jumping in there and just really genuinely puffing his chest out and being like, hey guys, I traded Luka Doncic and I don't care what any of you think. All you people in Dallas can die for all I care about. That's all that matters to me, is that I'm happy and now I've made a contender. And then there was that 24-hour period where that one half where Anthony Davis was completely dominating, and they were like,
he had 24 and 13 in the first half.
Maybe Nico's super smart. And then he died in classic Anthony Davis fashion.
I just wonder, when did he become such an idiot? Because like, when you really think about it, they go to the NBA Finals the year before. That was after acquiring Kyrie Irving, and then you got him. Luka's all of a sudden. I mean, he is heavier, but like, all right, he's too fat and he can't play defense, and all of a sudden, this guy's no longer as great as he was 7 months ago. And then going out of his Ross, going out of his way after the fact to really harp on it and say it was the right move. Defense wins championships, all this stuff.
Can I play contrarian real quick?
Being the idiot, like,
let me play the contrarian real quick. Does it mean anything to you that we did see the footage? This actually happened, unless it was AI. But this actually happened where Luka, celebrating their trip to the NBA Finals, has a beer, okay? And they take it out of his hand going, no, you're not doing that. And it felt a little bit like a slap on the wrist, like a kid doing what they're not supposed to. So in that sense, at least, the story checks out because, Luka, this was a trend every single year. Now, to be fair, he looks better than he's looked since basically he was a rookie. But every single year for like the last 4 or 5 years, I think he's going overseas and he's eating better food than what he was eating in Texas. But he's coming into the season looking healthy, and they're like, Slim Luka's, coming in shape. And then he's fat by the end of the year. And it was happening over and over again. So at the very least, that was a problem. And now we're celebrating it as Laker fans as he's averaging, 40 or close to 40. But again, he's in shape now. So
at minimum, Dallas's nutritional staff should be fired. Like, clean house. Clean house, son.
Yeah. Before Nico.
Yeah,
Before Nico.
the entire roster of chefs should be eliminated from that facility. But
that doesn't make as good of a chant, though, unfortunately. Fire physical trainers.
Fire chefs. Fire chefs.
Yeah,
It also just feels mean. Where fire Nico, like, he's
already a millionaire.
Yeah, he makes more money than everybody in the building. So whatever. He can survive without a job. But
I love that he put unemployed on his IG.
The biggest difference between that, Dario asked, when did he become an idiot? It's really easy to become an idiot when you lose one of the smartest and most basketball savvy GM/owners in Mark Cuban. Mm-hmm. Once he left, all of this stuff started happening. Literally all of it. And I think once Mark Cuban leaves the picture, you give Nico the power now. No pun absolutely intended. And I think he is absolutely he gets that I am the captain now energy big time.
I have a question though, and I think this is interesting. I mean, they say it's a make or miss league, and it's kind of the same thing with general managers. Is like you make a pick, you might be 50-50, and based on what you pick, you're either a moron and remembered for that, or you're seen as the best GM of the decade. It all depends, and so, but I think maybe sometimes these general managers overthink things and they want to be the genius who went against the grain and it ages well and they look super smart for it. So I'm not 100% convinced he was the fall guy because I do think there's a universe where somebody could be that dumb and overthinking things and just wants to be the genius who pulled it off. Because an example I have of something that worked out beautifully but at the time seemed like the dumbest thing you could ever do was trading DeMar DeRozan at a time when he was being argued for being the greatest Raptor potentially, between him and Vince Carter, the greatest Raptor of all time. Now they're giving it to Kyle Lowry. But at the time, DeRozan was in that argument. Yeah, they hadn't won anything, but they kept going to the playoffs year after year. Let's trade him for a one-year rental for Kawhi Leonard, for a guy who tends to miss a lot of basketball games. Let's just get him for a rental. And everybody, including me, was like, this guy's an idiot. So Masai Ujiri went from the biggest idiot in the league to an absolute genius who was celebrated for making that move because they won the championship that year. Maybe there's a universe where he thinks I could be that guy. Everybody hates me at the time, but watch this pan out, and then you win like
I don't know. I didn't
12 games.
I didn't hate Masai Ujiri for that move. I loved it the moment it happened. I was like, wow. And also, I was big like
you were in the minority. Then I'll give you your credit, but you were in the minority.
I was also in the Spurs. This Greg Popovich said, "Oh, you want to go to LA, Kawhi Leonard? You know what? I'm gonna send you to Toronto, the complete other direction."
Sure.
I thought that was the biggest troll ever, and I thought it was great. And then I thought, wow, they put the pieces together. And then by the trade deadline, I was like, this is a contender because then they got Marc Gasol, and it really came together.
Well, I'm talking about the response at the beginning of the year, but you could tell at a certain point, oh, this is kind of panning out all right. Maybe this will be all right. I mean, he still left, though. Like, he still left even after winning a championship, which is crazy. But go ahead, Daryl.
I just didn't realize how bad Toronto was. Like, when you really think about it, Kyle Lowry is your best player ever. Like, the worst thing ever. Like, what?
Kawhi Leonard's one season could be considered the best record ever.
To be fair, was birthed in the mid-'90s, so maybe not the fairest comparison. They don't have the most vast history. But yeah, I would say odds of Nico being a fall guy in comparison to just be a total moron, I would say 70% fall guy, 30% just moron. That's where I'm going.